It's the middle of the summer in Vegas, and sometimes you have that room that just doesn't want to cool off. Well, this is what I do. Somebody's really warm sleeping on the floor because it's so hot in the house, even though we have plenty of beds. So it doesn't matter how much you run the AC, it just stays warmer than the other rooms. Quick fix. We have a reservoir for water. This unit has a boost efficiency reservoir, which is a water reservoir that helps to cool the compressor off. So if you live in an arid area like I do in Vegas, you're gonna fill this one up with water. And this water will help cool off the compressor and make the unit a lot more efficient. And with this thing in, we're ready to turn it on. Before I plug it in, I want to address the fact that some people will mention that the portable ACs, they do trade a little bit of a cooling power for convenience. This one is a 14,000 BTU AC that is rated to be able to cool off about 8,200, but that's a trade-off that you have to have because of being so portable. You literally just wheel it from one room to another and you'll be able to just cool off that particular room. The installation is very, very easy, and it is a lot more efficient than cooling off 7 rooms in your house instead of just the one that you need to cool off. The installation of the hose is quite easy if you do it right. So open up the collar like this, and there's a thread over here. So you literally just screw it in into the unit. For this side, what I do is I put this in first. Process, open up the collar a little bit, then thread this in, and there it is. And now you can just bolt it in to where it needs to go. So it's going to be here in this case. So here it is. It's installed. It's going to stay in this corner. This is the vent hose that is going outside. This one fit right into the door. I did have to extend it a little bit because it was not as tall as the door was. I also installed on the wall a kilowatt. I want to know how much power it uses. We also get a remote for it to control it. It's on right now. You do hear a fan, so definitely you could hear the fan. But what's the good thing about it, you could barely hear the compressor. So the compressor is very, very quiet. Very, very faintly you could hear it, and usually that's the loudest part in these things. The fan just has a normal fan noise. It's set up right now to 73, but we're gonna let it run. Right now it's pulling at full power, it's pulling a little bit over 1,000 watts, but it's definitely, you could feel the chilling effects in the room, so huge difference. So it's pulling 39 degrees right now in, so that's how much it's pushing, 37, 39. It is definitely pulling in some really, really, really cold air. And this is very efficient for the room. It just cools it off like instantly. So it ran all night at 72 degrees and I used this much. Let's see, I don't know yet. 1.78 kilowatts. It's definitely kept the room very clean, very cool. So that is very, very nice. Basically used 20 cents worth of electricity, and that's 20 cents a day. So I would estimate it will cost about $10 a month to run, but it cools off the room like instantly. Like it turns on and then it turns off in like 45 seconds because that's how much power it has. It almost like feels like it's too big for this room. So it feels like it's a little bit too big for this particular room. So here it is. It's set for 74 and it's doing its own thing. It's on automatic and it's switching between fan and cool, so it's basically pushing the air around the room. So it's pushing 43 degrees right now, 41, so it's definitely cooling. It's almost freezing. So this is what you get from NEWAIR. You get a unit that is quite easy to install. I had no problems hooking it up to my door, but you can hook it up to any kind of a window very, very easy. It uses a little bit of a power. As far as the noise level, it's really fan on high, kind of like a noise level, so it's not much worse than a fan. I really like that you cannot hear the compressor, which was a big no-no for me on different units before, so the compressor on this one is quite quiet. It is very, very powerful for a small room, so you could even cool off a living room with it. It has a enhanced reservoir to help the compressor. Definitely use some water in the past hour or so. It is a lot easier to install than a mini split. It's a lot easier to install than a window unit, so that's very, very important. Even though its portability makes it a little bit less efficient than other ACs, it works really, really well to cool off a room. The controls are easy to read, easy to operate either from the top or from the remote. It uses about $10 worth of power a month if you run this one to cool off a room. It can also be a dehumidifier, so it has dehumidifier functions. Definitely worth having for the hot summer nights. Thanks for watching.